those at top are to follow. But I want to appreciate the organizers of this great event. It's been a very productive time here in Canada, and I know this is the starting point, but I want to continue to encourage you that you have started very well in using the power of influence to connect back to your home country. I've had all the speakers speak. We have informal leaders, we have formal leaders. The Nigeria-Canada Forum, you have displayed informal and formal leadership. You can look at it from this perspective. As members of this organization, you're leaders in your own right. But the initiative that you're embarking on is informal because you're taking the passion and the burden of your nation and you're going and leveraging your sphere of influence to make a difference in your home country. So I want to congratulate you. And from the perspective of a 17-year-old girl that migrated to the United States of America in quest of education, and to the glory of God, I would say that we did Nigeria proud, got into the United States of America, started as a teller with an MBA because there was no work experience during education period, with the hope that we finished school and hence back home on the next day. But that didn't happen. So there was no work experience. So one had to go in, and I went in as a teller. But I knew that once I got my foot into the door, that the results would be history. And to the glory of God, went in, and I'll share some of the strategies that I used to be able to maze through a corporate America. And I always say this, 4 strikes against me. And people rub it in my face all the time. Female, black, Nigerian accent. Those were strikes that, to me, were unique. I saw those as my uniqueness because I couldn't change any of them. And guess what? I didn't want to change any of them because that was my uniqueness. But what did I do? I tried so much to ensure that those strikes that were rubbed in my face did not stop my focus, did not stop my vision. Because as people, the fundamental stages of our lives were not when we got to Canada or when we got to the United States of America. Those formative years, like our previous speakers have spoken, leadership is inborn. That's something you already have, even as a young person. So it's just a matter of deciding, when do I pull this out to work for me? So that's the journey I embarked in the United States of America. Leadership can begin with individuals in leadership positions, but not ending with them. You can have a title. Like our speaker said, that does not make you a leader. Title is just a title. What you choose to do with the title and how you choose to implement the title is what helps you to be called a leader or not to. And success is a result, not an end, because every leader wants to be successful. But if I say, by show of hands, how do you define success? All of us would have unique definition. And none of it will be wrong. Because to you, you know what success means to you. To me, success means something to me. But all in all, we would agree that success is a journey. It's never going to be a destination, especially if we are going to be servant leaders. Servant leaders never finish their work. The work never ends till we close our eyes and go back to our Maker. So we know that there's never going to be a time that success will be where we end. We used 5 organization strategies. That's my name, and of course, my company, the United States, and I work with the government of Ondo State. But prior to that, the story of my life is what I'm telling, because that's what will be relevant to all of you now, because I started young. I'm sure most of you you're more than 17 years old. And when I started, that was the age I started. So I'm hoping that you pick one thing that will help you to really leverage and be a better citizen in this country. The 5 organization strategies that I use that has been proven and tested is always creating more harmony than discord. Like I shared with you, female, black, accent, Nigerian, those I know were always going to be in my face. Or I could choose to want to be confrontational. When a customer walks into Bank of America, I'll need service. And of course, I have to speak. And when I speak, the accent will come out. And they will see my name tag. Remi Duyile is not a Janet Jackson. So they're going to immediately massacre my name or do something. But I purpose in my heart that banking was a career that I enjoyed. And I knew that starting where I started was not my goal. It was to end and finish well. So in order to do that, I really have to make sure that I was in harmony. Being in harmony does not mean you're stupid. It just means you're wise. You're going to be cautious and be able to get to the heart of people who will be helpers of your destiny. So that worked for me. If you haven't tried it, I'll say try it. Build up more than you tear down, because you can sit down and use your mouth to, in America, I don't know about Canada, most of the work that you do, 90% is politics. And you're talking about somebody, what did you do over the weekend, who is this and that, and the real work that you have to do, you're spending less than 10% of it. And you're deciding who, what did you wear. I would walk into the building because I was a teller. But with an MBA, I went in suits because bankers in Nigeria dress real good. So I didn't have any other image of bankers than being in suits. And they would say, look at her, she dressed too much for the building. But I'm saying to myself, I'm not dressing for this position. I'm dressing for my future. I wouldn't dare tell them that because I didn't even know who to attack. But I kept on doing what I needed to do and didn't get into the environment where we would pull anybody down, because I needed each and every one of them to be that part of my success story. And they ended up being that. One day we'll tell that story. The long-term views and building stability were my focus. Like I said, I entered the bank and I knew that I did not want to end up as a teller. Tellers, a cashier, I don't know what we call it in Canada. And you don't need an MBA to be a teller in America. The only reason I started was to get my foot into the door. And I didn't go to an Ivy League school, but I had my MBA in America, and it's a school that's relevant. So I knew I could do better than a teller, but that was how I got in. So I used all those skills, had short-term views. What were my short-term views? Like, okay, I'm a teller. How can I offer my services to cross-train on the platform where I can help to open accounts? And of course, most people, when they're done, they're in a hurry to go and leave and just go about their business. I wasn't ready for that. I was like, oh, can I help you with something? And of course, grudgingly, they would say yes when they've had it up to here. But I was using that as an informal way of cross-training. Because if I dare go and ask somebody that I want to go learn to be this, they're going to be looking at me like, you just started less than 6 months ago. Why are you trying to hurry? I'm in a hurry because I have an MBA and I'm not going to sit in a teller window. So that helped me to say, you know what, how do I help these people? I'll go if a teller is out of balance, I'll be the first to offer. Can I help you with something? Can I lend this? Can I lend that? And people like when you offer your service. But I was building myself without necessarily getting permission from anyone. Also, that helped. Those were my short-term views, because I knew that all of those things would make me who I'm looking to be within the company. Making life easy for those over you. Oh my goodness, my bosses. I try to make life so easy for them. As much as I made it easy, I wasn't a pushover. I would be one of those persons that would go to my boss when I have a meeting. I have an agenda for him or her. Because I realized that anytime I call for a meeting, they talked about what they wanted to talk about. And because I'm still nervous with all the strife that is going through my mind, will they hear what I want to say? If they hear it, that they're going to make me lose my... So I decided to have an agenda. So when I sit, I say, can I have a meeting with you? Yes. I give you an agenda, you have an agenda. So I don't lose focus of why I called the meeting. Because I can't have access like everybody else. I already have my stripes, and that's not going to change. And I wasn't born in the system to understand how to integrate. So once I had my agenda, and of course Americans are great. They will respect you and say, what do you want to talk about? And then we'll talk. What do I need to do to go to the next level? What do I need to do to help you? And of course, everybody wants you to help them. And as you're helping them, you're helping yourself, because you're getting closer on their good side. And when that opportunity to be promoted comes, guess who they're going to call you? Because they want to keep you within their wraps. So within 6 months, I got moved to a customer service from a teller window because of all the little informal offering of services. So that helped me to cross over. Now I'm not a teller. At least I can look all pretty, trying to open accounts and just sitting behind a closed window where nobody sees me. So that helps, and I know that it can help you if you're not doing it already. There were also 3 relational strategies that I knew that I used all the time. One thing we know that friends represent who you will become, because it's very important in our decisions. I would say choose your friends very wisely. When you show me who your friends are, I will tell you who you are, and that never fails. These are not heavy-duty things that you don't know about, but be conscious about it, and don't worry what people say. Choose your friends for reasons that would not make you lose the sun of who you are. I'm sure you came here for a purpose, and that purpose you do not want to lose track of it. And the friends that you associate with surely will make you get there quicker than what it will be if you went the wrong way. Show respect. My goodness. Respect is next to godliness. You never know who you will meet up or down. Respect is very important. If someone is at the lower cadre of an organization, they can only go up. They cannot go any more down. And when you're going up, my mom always says something, be careful when you're up. Because when you're coming down, if you were not kind to the people under you, it would be like a Humpty Dumpty fall. But peradventure, you were nice and kind, and for whatever reason, there's a reason to fall. They will rock you, and you'll never know that that something is wrong. You just be rocking versus just jumping and falling. So I always put that in my heart that I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. And most of the time, I didn't get the right treatment because of the strikes I told you about. And people would just run. I mean, it was just something they decided to do, but it didn't bother me because I was just keeping focused. And they were watching me thinking that being a Nigerian, it was during the 80s where they had the Nigeria front ring and all of that. All the cameras were on me in the bank because they think that if anybody will steal, it can only be a Nigerian girl. And occasionally they'll ask me, Remi, where are you from again? I told you I was a Nigerian. When you hire me, does your country change? They'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know this. I said, I told you. Because then, occasionally you can't be too silent and not say things. And they'll, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. You've asked me 10 times. And I'm still Nigerian, will remain Nigerian. And so that would just make them silent. Because I was proud to be who I am. Always act with kindness, especially when being tough. Like I just told you, when I say these things, you never know I'm angry. I would say in a very jovial way, but the facts will be said. So you never know that there's really something that this lady is thinking about. 2 personal development strategies that I used were to identify wise leaders and seek their counsel. And I did not limit the leaders to my comfort zone. Instead, I went out. I volunteered and made sure I did what I call strategic volunteerism. Because I didn't want to just pass through America without America passing through me and just getting my degree, just like all of you are doing, sharing your sphere of influence with all of us. I would be the first to volunteer for Bank of America when there was a need to do something at a community on a Sunday, married with kids. I'll leave my kids after church and go and do that. But what did I do? It exposed me to clients with great people who now I'm leaning on their shoulder even as I stand today. These were people who took me under their wings, and all they wanted was, how can we help you to be successful? Because then young in my 20s, so still fairly young, and they were always there for me, and up till today they are there. If I have to pick anybody's brains, I call them. They know my heart, they know my passion, and they're always there. So find someone or people who can be such people in your life. Read if you don't read. I don't even know how to say that. You have to read. And if you're too busy to read, do books on tape. Get some, just read. I don't even know how to say read and find ways to know what's happening. Because knowledge, like Professor said, the knowledge is very important. And how do you gain knowledge? You can't just be by being around your friends. Because most of the time, you're on the same level. You can only know what's going on by reading. So please read, read, read. The 5 communication strategies that I constantly used were this. Never pretended I knew when I didn't know. I'll be the first to tell you, can you say that again? What do you mean? Didn't you get it? No, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. Can you please say it again? And by the time, and you find out that 90% of the people didn't even get it. But they're all sitting there quietly and looking like they're all funky and worried about a Nigerian girl with an accent, black and female, just trying to pick on me. But I knew that I had to know my audience, that was the only way I would shine, because you can't argue with results. And I would talk all the sales charge, the service charge, because I knew that's the only way you can fire me. You can't fire me for all those 4 things. And once I did that, they all later became friends with me. Always speaking clearly, directly, and honestly. Sometimes when I speak, oh, we can't hear you. You need spell it? Offer. Don't take it personal. Offer to spell it. A for apple, B for this, and let Remi, no, you don't have to say apple. I said, oh, I'm just trying to make it clear. They know when they're pushing and making you feel intimidated, and that's what you don't want, to be boxed in a situation where somebody makes you feel intimidated, because then your passion, your vision, and all the vigor in you that makes you to know where you're going will be slow. And when it's slowing, you never know. You might never catch it. Talk less and listen more. I mean, people want to have you listen to them. They want to tell you about themselves. Don't be the one that's doing all the talking, because there's always going to be time to talk, especially if you know that the purpose why you're there is to need something or to connect or to network. Don't be talkative. Save that for when you're with your friends. Stay in the moment in public. Volunteer. Go out of your comfort zone. I'm very, very proud and happy with what I'm saying here, so I don't need to sing to the choirs. I mean, you all are doing that. Continue to do it. And those of you who are still sitting on the fence, thinking, what is going on? Excuse me, something is going on, and something great is going on, that you're reaching out to your host community and being relevant in a way that you can run for offices in the future. If not even running for office, you have access whereby your sphere of influence can help us build our nation, Nigeria. So I would say keep up that volunteerism. Whatever you're doing that's giving you this access, do more. And if you haven't started, please start. Go help somebody do something that they want to do, that won't that won't make you get anything in return. Don't expect anything in return. When you do, you'll be disappointed. Let me just say that. So whatever you're going to do, make sure you're volunteering strategically for your own good. And it doesn't mean that you're getting a reward now, but your reward, you can never outgive God. Focus on enjoy others, listen to others, celebrate them, admire them, you look good, you have a nice time, whatever is within your culture in your host country, do it. There's nothing wrong. It's not about being fresh. Oh, you have a nice time. And you walk away, it's not like you're pulling the tide or anything that makes them to think you're being fresh. It's all part of the culture, and we have to learn and embrace the culture that we are now living in, which is the culture that will really help us to be that great bridge that we need to be. All of us would not move to Nigeria or to our home countries at the same time. I always tell people, you can be more useful when you purpose to be useful wherever you choose to be. And when I say that, what are you talking about? No. The people that you have interfaced with here, they already trust you. It's easier for them to follow you when you have something, and they would not listen to what is being said on the internet or on the news. They were like, oh, Remi, we're coming to Nigeria. They're not thinking about Nigeria that, oh, there's a Boko Haram or this or that. They're just thinking they're coming to Remi. So they believe that if Remi is there, nothing will happen to me. That's the kind, and I know all of you have your own sphere of influence. Invite your friends, let them come and see what's happening in Nigeria. And this is just on the side. I figure since most of us are diasporans, and at some point we would want to integrate. Even if we don't integrate, we would want to help somebody integrate. These are things that I know you can use because about 3.5 years ago, I was called to serve in Nigeria, hence my reason being in Nigeria. But I was in America for almost 30 years. Family still there. I still believe I'm all American, even though I'm in Nigeria. But these are the things that I have used to help the integration. I'm still integrating. I know you're like, 3 years is a long time. No, I'm still learning and underlearning. Of course, prayer. Whatever your supreme power is, if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, just believe in something that's greater than you and call upon that something to guide you. And of course, know your purpose in life. When you find your purpose, you have to have the passion to fuel it. Because when you know about this purpose as leaders, nobody would really know that this is your purpose. They'll just see you and, what's wrong with this? She's all crazy and all that. But you know there's a conviction that this is what you want to do. This is who God has called you to do. And then you need your passion. Not money. Money is needful, but the passion is really, really what will give you that energy during the low points. That resilience that we were taught earlier. That's what will give you that fuel to keep going. And of course, being persistent. Very nicely persistent. I think they shared an example of Fred yesterday. The ambassador was saying he was the persistence was not a negative thing. Supposing he had given up and didn't push it a little, we wouldn't have had the ambassador yesterday. Sorry, I had to digress. So persistence is a good thing because sometimes when we hear that word, we think it's negative. It depends on how you use it. And if you use it right, it's not negative at all. And patience, oh my God, you have to be so patient that nothing would make you lose your cool for anybody. The only person you have control over is you. And because you have control over yourself, if you lose your cool, you never know who is around as leaders who will catch that bad moment. And that person might never see you again. And guess what? You've just sold someone that's a leader for greater things to the wrong person. So patience, patience, patience. And for the ladies, we can have it all. Keep a balance in your life. Make sure that if you have a significant other, make sure that you carry them along all the time. Let them share your vision. And for our guys also, you have ladies, you have girls, your children, you want to make sure that you support us so that we can be the best that God has created us to be. And that's what's helping me stand. The support I get at home. Because when you're on the stage, everybody's smiling at you, everybody's nice, but that's just for a moment. But when you are in your home, that peace, that love, somebody you can talk to and so on, that's what will keep you to stay focused and be that unique individual. And I leave you with a quote. Again, because I know majority of us are thinking of being that great bridge to our respective countries. In the contemporary global context in which African governments are dependent on Western financial institutions for the running of their economic survival and prosperity of families, have become equally dependent on having family members in the diaspora. This is said by Emmanuel Akipo. What are we saying? I want to challenge all of us to keep the tenacity of what you're doing, especially in Regina, how you're integrating and interfacing with your host country, and let's be that bridge that will help with the transformational agenda that needs to happen or that is perceived happening in Nigeria. Because as we have been told, not only is the nation dependent on us, some of us have family members who are depending on us, and not just money. You're being around there, creating opportunities can help them to maximize their potentials. So we have a lot of work to do, people. I want to thank you for listening, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you.